milky, silky, smooth slot receiver Kyle Williams out of Washington State. I think Poles might actually target this guy. Let's get it cracking. Yo, 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 no maniacs, super no maniacs, and all in between. Welcome to another edition of Feed the Bears, while I do my job to feed who? You, the Bears, all the content that I can give you guys. And I'm not just making these videos for nothing. I could be doing a whole bunch of other different things, but right now I had to stop and do this one because very early on in the process in the offseason, I took off right away and started studying these football players. And it was easy, once I got to this football player right here, Kyle Williams, is right away. Right away, you know what you know when you know it. And right away, the impression was felt. I mean, he is absolutely explosive, absolutely a dog. And, he's a pure slot receiver. So let me tell a little story. I did a earlier video about Tyler Scott and what I thought, the coaches might think of him and his potential on this team. And, I still think he has some potential, but as a pure slot receiver, you need to be refined. You need to be kind of polished. You need to be able to work every part of the field. Like the middle of the field, I think is Tyler Scott's weakness. And so, long story short, here we are in this spot right here. And so I looked at the whole list of draft needs. I listed everything: safety, defensive line, offensive line. One of the things that I didn't do was receiver at the end of the offseason. But, knowing what I know about what's going to happen with Keenan Allen right now, it became pretty obvious that they're going to target some kind of receiver. And so I still feel pretty confident about that. And so what's interesting is Kyle Williams is one of two so far that I know of a couple, 2-3 dozen guys that they met at the combine so far. But there's only two receivers that got met with, and that is Xavier Restrepo and this guy here on the screen, Kyle Williams. They are both slot receivers. And so to me, it's pretty clear to me that, you could be bringing any kind of receiver, an X, a Z. They've targeted so far in their interview processes. And again, it really doesn't mean all that much. It's just an interview. But I really believe that this guy, the minute I saw him on film, I was like, this guy would be a perfect fit in what Ben Johnson wants to do. Perfect fit. Slot guy that got really refined technique. He's a separator. Not only that, I think one of the better things about him is his catch after run ability. He turns into a running back when he gets the ball in his hands. And he's just an explosion waiting to happen on the field. And so I do believe 110% that, and people might argue, there's the Tez Johnsons of the world over at Oregon, but I think this guy is the most complete slot receiver out there. There's some really good ones in this draft too. Xavier Restrepo, this guy Kyle Williams, Tez Johnson. There's several of them out there, but I think he's a cut above them all. So before I go any further, let me do this. We're going to take, you guys know I ain't really that much into a whole bunch of stats, but I'm going to show you some stuff here. It makes sense. Here we go. All right, so this is Kyle Williams in his kind of career trajectory. He's 6 foot, 186 pounds. Now, you can see here, as you can see right here, he's a fifth-year senior. And so you can see the trajectory as he matured his game, matured his techniques, fundamentals. You can see the production just went skyrocketing. He started at 426 yards in his freshman season, went up to 601 in his sophomore campaign, then his junior campaign, or however you want to classify it. He took a dip. I don't know why. Maybe he got hurt that season. I don't know. But he get to 2023 now, starting to really jump up. It's 842 yards on 61 receptions. And then he saved his best for last in his senior year. This past year, 70 receptions, 1,100 yards plus. The production is, you can literally see, just by this graphic right here, you can literally see the production just tick up, and you can just see his value. I can remember a coach telling me when I first got there, he's like, are you going to be one of those guys that get squirrely in the offseason and you're going to want to transfer and go like everybody else does? And that happens with all college players. Every offseason, they start sniffing around, thinking about other opportunities where they can go somewhere and be more of the priority on the offense or defense, whatever their skill is. And so the fact that he stayed there all these years, I think really, really helped him. And so, like my coach said, he's like, man, if you stick, you stay, we can help you make it pay. And so I think that's kind of the conversation that must have been had with him, man, because he could have probably gone to several other places, but he stuck at Washington State, and you can see the production, man. It's incredible. But let me get back to the screen. Give me a second. I'll take this down. All right. But again, what you see on screen, on film, let me give my little projection for it. So in Ben Johnson's offense, it became pretty clear, like every last one of the receivers that they had in that offense had a particular skill set. From Tim Patrick to Amon-Ra St. Brown to Jamison Williams. And how would you project a football player like Kyle Williams in an offense like that? Of course, it's not going to look the same as it did when they were in Detroit. They're gonna twist it up, wrinkle it up to kind of fit Caleb Williams. And so this is how I think it works. And so I think Kyle Williams' ability to go from 0 to 10 once he gets the ball in his hands, what you will see on the film right away that's going to jump out at you is the quick pass game. And when he catches the ball and how easily he turns into a running back. I think it's a unique trait for a receiver that he's got the ability to be able to read the setup of the blocks and be able to exploit, the gaps and really press him, and boom, he's off and he's going to gash your defense. Not only that, he's explosive down the field too. He can take the top off the defense, but that catch and run ability, I can see fitting into what Ben Johnson wants to do on reverses, jet sweeps and different things like that. It's just a plethora of ways you can use a football player like this. And one last thing about him is his refined technique, his route running technique. I think you will get so enamored with the big play ability, the explosives, getting the ball in his hands, running and gashing for 60, 70 yards. You'll get enamored with that. But don't forget, when you're looking at the film, if you do take time to go check him out, make sure you look at how refined his route running tree is, how he releases off the ball, how he releases off the line of scrimmage, his route tree. He can route DBs up real, real good. He's gonna be a good separator. And so he reminds me a smaller version of DJ Moore is what he looks like. That's weird to say that he's wearing number 2. And I'm telling you, you're going to be watching that film, and I'm telling you, you're going to see all kinds of remnants of DJ Moore. I'm telling you, as soon as you turn on the film, if you go start looking at highlights, if that's what you look at, I'm telling you, right away, you're going to see DJ Moore. But he's just a smaller, a little bit sleeker version of him. But I'm telling you guys, this guy right here, by the fact that they only targeted 2 receivers so far in conversations to have out down at the combine, and both of them being slot receivers, tells me a whole lot. And so I felt confident making this video that I believe if the draft fell in a certain way. And also, just to mention, I like the idea of Antoine Randall L getting his hands on him, man, a really, really savvy veteran receiver that's now coaching receivers. I think this would be a great fit and a great setup for this kid, having Antoine Randall L as a sounding board. I think that would be great. But what I was going to say was, what was I going to say? I was talking about his refined technique, I guess. I just wanted to say, to close this video out, because I'm definitely having a brain fart. I sidetracked myself talking about Randall L. But, that's enough. I think you all can go and look at your film for yourselves and come back and let me know in the comment section on what you thought, man, because I really think this guy is a bona fide dog. I think he's going to be a stud on the next level. And I would love to see him in a Chicago Bears uniform. So that's my take on him, man. You go check out the video. Go check out the highlights or the game film, whatever you choose to look at. But make sure you just go check him out and let me know what happened in the comment section. But that's all I got for this one. Make sure you guys come check us out tomorrow, Nomad at night at 8 p.m. Central. And make sure anybody that's not subscribed to the channel and you like the new content, and you like for me to keep pumping it out, just hit the subscribe button. That's just a way to say thank you. And I would definitely appreciate that. I want to leave you guys with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, I am